95% of investors are making this mistake, and they don't even know it. Whether you're investing $800 or $800,000, if you pick the wrong stock, it could all go to zero. I've seen it happen with million-dollar portfolios, and I want to make sure it doesn't happen to you. The other day, my 12-year-old son says to me, "Hey, Daddy, I'd love to talk to you a little bit about investing some of my money." I was so excited for him. I'm like, "Great, tell me a little bit more." He's like, "Well, I have a couple of ideas. I love video games. I'd like to buy maybe a video game stock. Specifically, I think Fortnite's a pretty cool game, and I'd love to buy the company that makes that." And as he kept talking and talking and talking, I'm really starting to cringe while I'm driving, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, he's not talking about investing at all. He's talking about gambling. And this is something that, even though my son comes to me with $800 and that's all the money he has, I get clients every day with $800,000 that are literally gonna fall into the same trap and make the same mistake. His strategy isn't really investing, it's gambling. It has a 95% chance of failure. And what I said to him, and what I say to all of my clients to help them understand the difference and put the odds in their favor. Number one, when you're buying a stock, the odds are really not in your favor. In fact, the story I used for my son was to try to depict stock investing kind of like winning in the Hunger Games. In the Hunger Games, you have 20 tributes that go into the ring and only one comes out. That means that your chance of survival in the Hunger Games is only about 5%. Chance of buying a stock and having it come out a winner is only about 5%. Now, this is something that most people don't know because they look at the stock market averages and they see, oh, the stock market has really made about 10% a year over pretty much any length of time that you look at, 10, 20, 30, 100 years. But what that doesn't show is the chaos that's happening beneath the surface. Research has shown that essentially 55% of all the companies that have ever gone public have also gone bankrupt. A company like, for example, Northwest Airlines, which is the company that we used to fly on being here from Detroit when I was a kid. A company like Blockbuster, which is a company that we used to rent movies from before there was Netflix. GM and Chrysler, both of those stocks went bankrupt and investors lost all their money. So most stocks end up being complete losers for the investor. There's a second group of companies that aren't necessarily bankrupt companies, but they're kind of like zombie companies. I call them zombie stocks. They kind of go up and come down and go up and come down, and they kind of end up exactly where they started. Ford would be a good example of a stock like this. Kraft Heinz, Walgreens, Disney's been kind of like that lately. These are all companies that essentially you would have been better off putting your money into a savings account. You would have made more or over a decade in a savings account than buying a lot of these companies. Okay, so what does that leave us? Well, we just said 55% go bankrupt, 40% go nowhere. So there's only 5% that actually end up surviving, and not just surviving, but thriving. And those 5% are absolute super stocks. That's what we call them here at Verde. They're stocks that go up 10x or more from where they started, and they're the ones that everybody's trying to find. It's a stock like maybe Amazon, or a stock like Netflix, or a stock like Tesla, or Chipotle Mexican Grill, or Lululemon Athletica. These are all companies that are iconic. They've gone up 10x or more. Investors have made tons of money on them, and they're kind of like a lottery ticket. But trying to find them is so difficult. So when my son says to me, "Hey, I'm thinking about buying one company," I'm thinking, you need to buy 10, 20, 100. And this is, again, the pattern that a lot of clients fall into. They mistake gambling for investing, and they're not the same at all. What I'm gonna be talking about is how you can actually take those odds, flip them upside down, and put them in your favor. Rather than gambling, I want you to think of investing like owning the casino. Maybe there might be some days that somebody comes into your casino, wins a little bit of money, and walks out with more than they walk in with, but most of the time, the casino and the house always wins. We're gonna be talking about the strategy and how to diversify your investments, where to open an account, how to pick a financial advisor so that you could essentially put the odds in your favor and make investing an awesome experience rather than one that is doomed to fail. We can't wait to see you there.